Welcome to New Hampshire's Business. I'm Fred Coker. Our business is at a point in this COVID marathon where they're ready to ease restrictions like some of the states are doing. Well, what do employees want and what are employers doing? Well, we have some surveys that give us some answers. This is for employees. Employee COVID policy survey. In January, 78% of employees say employers should encourage or require COVID vaccinations for in-person work. And 52% of employees have increased anxiety about working in-person due to Omicron variant. And then there are the employers. A survey of 3,000 employers in January by the New Hampshire law firm of Sheen, Finney, Bass & Green generated some telling responses. And here to walk us through them is the chair of their labor and employment group that did the survey, Attorney James Reedy. Welcome, Jim.
Thanks, Fred.
Before we dive into some of the responses, what's your take on the survey overall?
Well, I think that the take is similar to the virus itself. The virus has mutated and changed. The law has mutated and changed and evolved. And similarly, the employer and employee reactions to it have changed. And if you look at that first survey, Fred, from January, where employees were really anxious and wanted their employers to either encourage or mandate the vaccine, we see in just a month that has changed.
Yeah, it has. Now, let's go to number one question of the four we're going to look at here from your survey. Assuming, here's number one, assuming you have granted medical and religious exemptions, have you also permitted those employees to keep performing with appropriate safety precautions? Big number, 90%.
90%. And what that tells you is we're obviously in a very tight labor market. Employers are desperate to find and retain employees. And so those that had a genuine exemption, medical or sincerely held religious belief, employers truly bend over backwards to do what they can to accommodate that to retain those employees.
Number two, do you have or did you have employees who refused to cooperate with responses to questions about vaccination status?
We live in New Hampshire. It's the live free or die state. There's that libertarian streak, right? And so no matter what you ask of employees, you're going to find that recalcitrant bunch that just don't want to respond. That was especially true with vaccination status, where there was a group that said, and this is 77% of the employers that responded. So at least a few in each workplace said it's none of your business. It's a matter of privacy.
And then number three, same numbers actually. Are you prepared to discipline or terminate employees who do not comply with your COVID policies?
Sure, and high stakes. I think the issue there is, even though Omicron was not as serious of an infection as Delta and Alpha before it, employees are still concerned about their well-being and the well-being of their coworkers, and they want to get back to some state of normal. So employers likely have an obligation to have a safe workplace. So they're going to enforce those regulations for those people that don't wear masks, that come into work sick, and so on.
And then number four, even if the U.S. Supreme Court strikes down the ETS, and I'll ask you what that is in a minute, will your workplace proceed with its own vaccination mandate? And of course, the Supreme Court, as we now know, did strike it down. What's ETS?
ETS is the emergency temporary standard set by OSHA, and that was back in the fall in response to the president's path out of the pandemic. And basically, for large employers, it was the mandate, and the Supreme Court struck that down, said that OSHA exceeded their authority. And
the big answer here was no.
Right. And the answer there was employers, if they weren't required to, a very small percentage, just 1/3 who responded, said they're going to have their own private mandate.
And finally, Jim, do you think most employers are going to join the states that are now easing the restrictions on mandates and on COVID policies in general? Or are they going to follow? Are they going to lead or follow?
I think they're going to follow, but they're going to follow, as they say in politics, cautiously, optimistically. And they're hoping that the numbers that appear to be waning with regard to the virus suggest that we may be at the tail end. Even Dr. Fauci suggests that. So I think they're anxious to get back to some degree of near normal in a post-pandemic workplace. So I think they will start to ease the restrictions, and I think that will be embraced by just about all.
Well, my thanks to Jim Reedy, who is the chair of the Labor and Employment Group at Sheen, Finney, Bass & Green law firm. And if you missed part of this briefing on this survey on COVID policies by businesses, you can go to WMUR.com, where it will be posted later today and all this week.